What's up, my FY Fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today, we're going to be chopping it up with the CFO of Sage Dental, business growth evangelist, Mr. Mark Brocklemen. How are you, my man? How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Business is going well. I'm happy, and it's a fantastic time in South Florida. It's finally not so hot, Hassan.
100%, man. I'm right there with you. I'm taking my walks every day. The mosquitoes aren't out. The sun isn't beaming down on you, so it's a perfect time here, man. So how we normally like to get started is this is FY Fly, and how we like to get started is we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff. How does that sound?
That sounds fantastic. Let's cut to the meat, Betty.
All all right. So I want to know because I feel like everyone has that specific turning point moment in their life that puts them on the path and the trajectory that they're on today. So define define that moment for you. What was that defining moment like?
I tell you, Hassan, as I look back, and I'm going to go early days here. My dad was a pastor
Yeah.
in inner city Chicago. We lived in the church's house, and
Mm-hmm.
Dad had an illness and suddenly could not preach.
Uh,
We're out. We need to find other accommodations. Money's tight. And I tell you, I'm fit. I'm in shape. You see me, Hassan. I love to work out. I like
yeah.
to challenge people. At that time, I loved donuts. I loved to eat, but we had no money. So at a young
Uh-huh.
age, starting about age 8, I got my own paper route. I learned how to
Okay,
make
the
money.
hustle.
I did
Yep.
odd jobs. Suddenly, money's pouring in. I'm getting a dozen donuts a day. I'm getting a salami stick. I'm getting whatever I can. I'm self-sufficient. And I realized,
Mm-hmm.
man, I love business. And it wasn't just about the money. It felt good that I also started contributing to the household, and the
Mm-hmm.
stress got relieved. And I really saw that there's a lot of opportunity to be an entrepreneur. So really
Yeah.
that moment, age 8 forward, I found a way to make it happen, and it was
Mm-hmm.
exciting, and started to get a little chubby. So that's why later on I started to work out a little harder
Yeah.
too.
So it sounds like to me, originally your why on why you were hustling, why you were grinding was so hard was to buy you some good treats, some good eats, and buy those donuts and those other snacks. So considering your why now, tell us what that specific why is on why you continue to strive for greatness today within your companies, within your personal development, and then kind of give some advice for people listening on kind of developing their whys.
Absolutely, and a big part of my why, and I'll cut to the chase. I like to win. I go by hashtag wins, WINZ. It's on my
Yeah.
license plate. I put it on my LinkedIn stuff, and I enjoy that winning concept. And I
Mm-hmm.
started out with engineering. Engineering, you don't know if you win or lose, but business, especially private equity, you get measured by everything.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really cool about it, when you grow these companies and sell them off, you participate with the actual culmination of that equity payoff. So suddenly
Yeah.
you're talking millions. You're not talking about, the $5 I was making on my paper out to buy donuts. Suddenly you're buying boats, you're buying cars. And, selfishly, it was really cool to compete and have
Mm-hmm.
ownership in these companies at a young age. I'm talking at age like 26, I'm getting into these opportunities. And really that
Awesome.
why is that whole competition part. You being
Mm-hmm.
an athlete, I'm sure you can experience that as well. You miss that competition when
For
you're
sure.
young, playing the games, and suddenly you're removed from that.
So that competition is what drives you to succeed in business, to succeed in life. And I can definitely agree with that 100%. I want to become the best public speaker. You talk about the Eric Thomases of the world, the Tony Robbins of the world. I want to be mentioned in those names. So that's what keeps me continuously learning, continuously networking with great people like yourself. And something that you mentioned, you said it was around 26 where you started being open to these opportunities. So, was that your first like big executive position? Was that at 26? Kind of talk about that. And then what did it take to reach that first executive position? Like from that leap of, associate manager or whatever that may have been to executive, what did it take to make that leap?
Yeah, a great question. And the way I see it, the way I mentor kids is that you got to be the best athlete. You got to be the person that, hey, I want to put you into that game. So from up
Hmm.
to age 26, I was building myself to be the best financial athlete, meaning that I had the background, I had the skill set, I'm working my tail off to
Hmm.
get to that point. And I want to land a role as vice president of finance at a young age at 26 of the National Enquirer, the Star and the Globe. And, it doesn't sound
That
glamorous,
is
but it's a
awesome.
public company and, really fit in well. It was exciting. We had Tiger Woods working for us.
Uh-huh.
We had, we ultimately bought Weider. We had Shape and Muscle and Fitness. Along this path, my CFO had a heart attack, actually passed away,
Wow.
and I got pulled into the game. So just like, you're sitting on that bench, you got to be ready for that opportunity because that
Hmm.
opportunity is going to come. And are you best positioned to get put into the game? And luckily
Hmm.
I was, and I got called in early and performed. And really
Yeah.
from that moment, it was really what launched my career. And
Hmm.
working for my CEO's name was David Pecker. He's my mentor to date. He's the
Yeah.
toughest guy I've ever met, and he really taught me and mentored me along that path.
Hmm. Wow. I mean, just that journey is so inspiring because I think so many people can relate to that. And they're probably in the position that you were in, waiting to be called up off the bench or promoted. So a lot of people can get discouraged by not getting that promotion or not getting that hitting that next level. But it's literally it could happen this following the next year or the year after that, or it could be tomorrow. But to your point, you talked about being a valued asset. Value is the biggest takeaway that I've learned and put into my books is provide or is acquiring value within yourself and then going out and providing that value out to the world. So I 100% agree with you when you talk about providing that value because that is what opens up the doors. Because I have something I call the value exchange. So for example, if I was to come up to you at the FAU game and be like, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Can I pick your brain?" That could be a whole different conversation from, "Hello, Mark. It's great to meet you. I was just awarded Financial Podcast of the Year. We have a great podcast where you could come on and speak and grow your customer base and this and that, this and that." That is a much different conversation than, "Hey, Mark, I would just love to pick your brain and take some of your valuable time from you." Would you agree to that kind of that value and being able to provide value as well? What's
Oh,
your what's your
it's much
thoughts?
more exciting the way you presented this, that there's limitless ways where we can help grow each other's brand,
Uh-huh.
give back, and help each other out. So absolutely agree with
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, so that's something that we are both huge proponents on is making sure that you're providing value to others, not leading with your benefit, but how you can help them and help the other person grow. I think that's huge. And then you've mentioned a couple times about mentorship. Why do you believe mentorship is so crucial for this younger generation that's listening to us right now?
Yeah, really, when you look at that, having somebody to help guide you, there's several people. I work with a few different organizations. One's Path to College, which is really exciting. There's
Hmm.
several young people that don't have the parental guidance and somebody to help lead the way. And really having somebody that can show them there's opportunities that you don't have to come from a certain type of background. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to talk a certain way. There's ways to get
Hmm.
into whether it's a career, whether it's a college, whether it's any kind of a network that you want to join. How do you start? And really, that's
Yeah.
the toughest way. Whether to get into some new venture is what's the first step, and that's where
Hmm.
people like you and I can really help out. And selfishly, it's where I get a lot of pleasure. Working with
Hmm.
young people that have the excitement and really the aptitude to want to do something positive, but they don't know where to turn to.
Yeah. And I think it has to start from what you said that want to. I think we're much more open to help people that want it, that have that hunger, that have that passion, compared to us trying to just pour into, the whole world. We're pretty busy. So for someone to show that initiative, to show that passion and go the extra mile, I know speaking for me, but I'm sure same for you, that makes you want to help them even more to kind of, meet them because they're running this race and go a little bit to meet them where they're at and then take them to the place from your experiences to where they want to be. And I think that's what that mentorship does. It helps the mentee skip steps that you may have, kind of bumped your head at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
So, even like speaking of other steps, I want you to give us, our listeners, one of the most challenging moments that you've been through within business, but also give us one of your most rewarding moments during this journey in your business and career path.
Yeah. I'll point to the time where I moved my family from Boca Raton to Kansas to start a new company, a media company. We had 300 magazines. We
Hmm.
employed 1,000 people, and regulatory changes caused business, a part of that business, to fail. And
Right.
because of that, we were able to sell off the majority of the company in a private equity transaction, but there's a part that I couldn't sell off. And there's a
Hmm.
significant amount of people that lost jobs over that. And when
Wow.
you look at that, you're responsible for the livelihood of a good amount of people, and your success equals their success, and a lot of them
Hmm.
are living paycheck to paycheck. And
Yeah.
it's something that I cried over, something that was really emotional for me, knowing that there was a failure, some things out of my control. But
Hmm.
you really want to win all the time. And when you look at the impact of that, it was really tough to swallow.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I know that was a tough moment. I'm sure you and the company were able to kind of maybe look out for those that maybe like a severance package or something of that nature, but still, I know it's probably tough cutting off those immediate incomes for those folks. So that's why I like to start with kind of the big challenge, and then we finish on the high note. So give us the most rewarding moment that you have, or one of the most rewarding moments that you've had in business so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'll point to the current right now at Sage Dental. Coming out of COVID, company struggling. We had 59 offices, not much profitability, and really transforming Sage Dental
Hmm.
and growing this now from the 59 practices to 140, entering new
Wow.
states, significant amount of profitability. And more important to that is the fact that we do better dentistry. We're providing better services. We've
Hmm.
put in artificial intelligence, we put in scanners, we put in CBCTs, we put in all these things that give better outcomes, and we're able to see more patients. And we've also developed our own insurance. One of the problems, in my opinion, in the United
Yeah.
States is the lack of insurance and lack of universal health care for people,
Hmm.
especially, people with lower income. You go into a dental office and you need a crown and it's $2,000 and they don't have a job or they don't have their job doesn't provide them with health insurance. How do you get that
Hmm.
done? How do you get that? You know what happened? You get the tooth pulled. So
Yeah.
suddenly you're missing teeth. Then you go for a job interview and you don't feel confident to smile. You don't have a way to interact. So we've
Wow.
been able to lower the cost of dentistry through our technology and also
Hmm.
make money and provide better services, taking every single health insurance plan and having our own and having really significant outcomes. And where this leads to, where I feel really great about this, my wife's a dentist. She had
Hmm.
her own practice. I felt in a really good position to buy her practice and bring that together. And now as a family, we're both doing this together. So that really,
Hmm.
brings the chills that you're helping so many people. She's a part of this and my
Yeah.
family's brought into it. So, really exciting where this is going.
You talk about alignment. That is awesome. Just the way that God aligned your path, within your wife, within all the different positions that you had, and now with Sage Dental. I mean, that's amazing, man. Like from your experiences, what qualities, characteristics, and traits are you using and implementing at Sage Dental to grow the company, from what you've learned through all of your different experiences?
Yeah, it's funny, Hassan, you'd mentioned value earlier, and I lead by value. I call it a little bit different than you call it. I
Yeah,
call it the value maximization plan, the
awesome.
VMP. So when I look at the VMP, everybody wants to do everything. You want to hit all these things. There's
Mm-hmm.
8 things you should be doing. What are the 8 things that are going to drive value in your organization? Pick them out, make sure your entire team is on board, and then measure it. Measure progress, where you are in the status, and make sure everybody's talking the same way. Whatever reports you do, you hit that, you talk about it, and that determines success. And
Mm-hmm.
when there's something outside of that, some things you need to do, you just don't prioritize those things. So when we look at the course of growing Sage, growing all the companies I've been in, is
Mm-hmm.
really determining that value maximization plan, measuring it, and making sure everybody is on board. And part of that being on board is compensation, Hassan, making
Yeah.
sure that you pay people that aligns with your VMP.
Mm-hmm. VMP. That's awesome. That's
Not to be
awesome.
concerned with, not don't make that the OPP. This is the VMP.
So now other people's, come on. I love it, man. I love it. I could go all day, but I'm gonna wrap it up here, man, with our famous final question. So this is how we go. We have two quotes that I'm gonna read out to you, and I want you to let me know which one is the most accurate in your opinion. All right?
All right. I'm listening. Let's
All
go.
right. So the first one is more money, more problems. Shout out to Biggie Smalls.
Yeah. I
And
like
it,
Biggie. He's my pick.
yeah. And
I want to hear the other one. Let's see.
the second one is money can't buy happiness. Which one is most accurate? Which one do you agree with most?
All right. So more money, more problems. I don't believe in that at all. I've
Mm-hmm.
seen the money that's come my way do some extreme amount of good. One thing that happened, my former wife that passed away at a young age. We had our 2 young daughters, and the
Mm-hmm.
money that we did accumulate really helped me navigate healthcare and really brought about some good things. And then
Yeah.
past that, I was able to give back significantly to charities that have helped with blood cancer research, which is how
Mm-hmm.
she passed. So the money can provide an amazing amount of good things. So don't
Mm-hmm.
agree with that. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that off the table completely.
Yeah. Sounds like you
I,
don't. Sounds like you don't agree with both. Because it sounds like the money brought happiness. It sounds like it brought joy from doing the correct things with money that impacted others, not just yourself. Not going buying the boat and the yacht, and even though if you probably did, but what the other things you did with the money impacting your wife or your late wife, impacting others who may have been going through the same situation as your late wife. So I think it sounds like that brought happiness.
Yeah, absolutely. That's correct. It's money in the right context and not being greedy, giving
Mm-hmm.
back. It really provides a huge amount of value in your life. And
Mm-hmm.
so, really to that end, how do you get there? And that's really where you come in with the financial literacy,
Mm-hmm.
really helps you have a really enjoyable life and give back and do positive things. So, yeah, I really don't agree with either one of them.
I just helped you out there, man. I love it, man. Thank you so much for joining the FY Fly podcast. Please let everyone know where to reach you. Any contact information that you want to leave, please go ahead.
Yeah, so really for me, I'm old school. I don't do much social media. I love my LinkedIn network. So when you look at Mark Brocklemen, I also go by the hashtag wins. So you find that the WINZ. Love to give valuable content on there. But outside of that, go ahead and go get your Sage Dental office and get your cleaning done.
Come on, come on. I got mine done 2 weeks ago. A couple weeks ago when we met. It was like 3 days after my cleaning appointment. So, yep, I'm gonna say dental. You see.
Beautiful smile, Hassan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But thank you so much for joining the FY Fly podcast. For all my listeners, if y'all can take some of these small gems that Mark and I talked about here today and apply them, I promise you, over time, those small habits will lead to large results. So, again, all my listeners, y'all already know we need y'all to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FY Fly. See y'all next week.